What's up everybody, Weston here with the Hidden Gibbon, back with another daily deck tech video, and we are back again with another viewer request. This time it's Spider, as how I'm going to pronounce it. I don't know if I'm supposed to or not, but piloted by Peni. So without further ado, let's get into it. So Spider piloted by Peni is a 4/4 for 3 generic, 1 white, 1 blue, is from the Spider-Man set, and says Vigilance, and when Spider enters, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. And whenever a modified creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. It's not the most powerful commander in the world, but it's certainly an interesting one, and I want to do it justice for the person that requested this. So I went with a lower-ish budget at about $264.20, but you can always drop some of the more expensive cards out. And I went for a combination of like a Voltron, like equip and enchantment, as well as some like a little bit of blink. I very firmly believe in having multiple strategies in the same deck, so if one gets shut down, you still have another line to win. So let's get straight into it and see if I did a halfway decent job with this deck. So we are running 23 creatures in this deck. Some of these will look pretty familiar for a lot of archetypes. We have Abzan Falconer. It's a 2/3 for 3 with Outlast, which is, as a sorcery, you can pay 1 and put a 1/1 counter on this creature. You can Outlast only as a sorcery, and each creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it has flying, so it makes himself flying. We have Anafenza, Kintree Spirit, which is a 2/2 for 2. It whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, you bolster one, which is choose a creature with the least toughness amongst creatures you control, put a 1/1 counter on it. I also really like the art on this card. We have Chasm Skulker, which is a 1/1 for 3, which is whenever you draw a card, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. And whenever this creature dies, create X1 1 blue squid creature tokens with Island Walk, where X is the number of 1/1 counters on this creature. So, you know, you draw a card, you get it to be modified, which then you can attack, and if it deals combat damage, then you get to draw another card, which will then put another 1/1 counter on it. It is a great day, a self-feeding little synergy. We have a Denry Klin, Editor and Chief, is a Cat Advisor, a 2/2 for 4 with Denry Klin, enters the battlefield with your choice of a 1/1 counter, a first strike, or a vigilance counter on it. And whenever another non-token creature you control enters the battlefield, if Denry has counters on it, put the same number and kind of counters on that creature. So if you pump Denry, you get to pump your other creatures. If you give it like the first strike or vigilance counter, you get to do that as well. We have Enduring Curiosity, so whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you get to draw a card, and if it dies, it comes back as an enchantment. We have Envoy of the Ancestors, which has Outlast, and then modified creatures you control have lifelink. We have Grateful Apparition, which is whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, you get to proliferate, and it flies. So we're already getting a little bit of counters on our stuff, and this will help proliferate it. We have Herald of the Secret Streams. Creatures you control with +1/+1 counters on them can't be blocked. It's a 2/3 for 4. It's pretty good value in this deck. We have Lae'zel, which is if you would put 1 or more counters on a creature or planeswalker you control, or on yourself, put that many +1 of each of those kinds of counters on that permanent or player instead, and you choose a background. We have Luminous Broodmoth. You know, I've always wanted the Mothra version of that card, and because fun fact, I'm a massive Godzilla fan, but you know, still haven't been able to get one. We have Flying 3/4, and whenever a creature you control without flying dies, return it to the battlefield under your control with a flying counter on it. We have Lila, Holographic Assistant. Whenever you draw a card, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Pretty straightforward. Metastic Evangel, the Moon Knight looking guy. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, proliferate. Patrolling Peacemaker, this creature gets enters with 2/+1/+1 counters, and whenever an opponent commits a crime, you proliferate. Crimes are if they target an opponent, anything an opponent controls, or cards an opponent in an opponent's graveyard. To proliferate, you can, add counters and stuff. Then we have Shabaraz, the Sky Shark. which you could partner with Brelin, Sky Shark Rider, which we're not doing in this deck. Flying, and whenever you draw a card, put a 1/1 counter on Shabraz, and you gain 1 life, and you can have target human gain flying until end of turn. Silent Hull Creeper, I really love this card. It can't be blocked, and then when it connects with a player, you choose one that hasn't been chosen. You get 2 1/1 counters on it, you get to draw a card, or it becomes the copy of another target creature you control. We have Sky Knight Squire. Whenever another creature you control enters, put a 1/1 counter on it. As long as it has 3 or more counters on it, it has flying and is a knight in addition to its other types. We have Srom, so whenever you cast an aura or equipment, you get, or a vehicle spell, which we don't have vehicles in here, you get to draw a card. We have Sun Spider, so during your turn, Sun Spider has flying, and when Sun Spider enters, search your library for an aura or equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. We have Surge Conductor. Whenever another non-token artifact you control enters, proliferate. Thassa. This is one of the expensive cards in the deck. We have it in here, so at the end of your turn, you exile up to 1 target creature, return it to the battlefield under your control. Blink your commander or other things that add counters. Do it that way. Thrumming Bird, whenever it connects, you proliferate. Tawashi Guidebot is, when it enters, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Then you can pay 4 to draw a card. It costs 1 less to activate for each modified creature you control. So, which is pretty good, because then you can get it down to literally just tap, draw a card. Pretty fun. We have Wraith, Vicious Vigilante. It's a 1/1 for 3, double strike, and Fear Gas. It can't be blocked. It's low rate, but I wanted to put some Spider-Man cards in here to be a little bit more thematic. Put some counters on them and let them go to town. We have Damning Verdict, destroy all creatures with no counters on them. We have Open the Armory, search your library for an aura or an equipment, reveal it, put it into your hand. Tezzeret's Gambit, which lets you draw and proliferate. Crystal's Chosen, which is create 4 1/1 colorless heroes, and then put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control, which is really good. United Front, this is from Avatar. Create X 1/1 white ally creature tokens and put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Vanquish the Horde is a classic. It costs 1 less for each creature on the battlefield. Destroy all creatures. And then we have Wave Goodbye. Return all creatures without a 1/1 counter on it to its owner's hand. For 4. Pretty good. Can be a one-sided Wrath in this deck. Sorry for the yawning. I'm doing this late at night. For instance, we have quite a bit of removal in here with Generous Gift, Path to Exile, Rapid Hybridization, Swords to Plowshares, Pongify, and Stroke of Midnight, as well as a combo of both put a counter on and protection spells. So with Spectacular Tactics, you can put on 1/1 counter, it gains hexproof, or destroy target creature power 4 or greater. We have Slip Out the Back, which is put a counter on, phases out. Protection Magic is put a shield counter on each of up to 3 target creatures. And we have Unbreakable Formation. For our artifacts, we are running Bioorganic Carapace, which is equip creature. When it enters, attach it to a creature you control. Equip creature has +2/+2, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card for each modified creature you control. Pretty good for this deck. Bitter Thorn and also Sword of the Animus pretty much do the same thing. The equipped creature gets +1/+1, and whenever it attacks, you can search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. The only difference is that this one costs 1 more and has living weapons, so it comes equipped to a little 0/0 germ. We have a Black Blade Reforged, so you get +1/+1 for each land you control. Equips for 3 to legendary creatures. We have Costume Closet. This artifact enters with 2 1/1 counters. Remember, we do have Proliferate, so you can get that more. You can move a 1/1 counter from it to another target creature you control, and whenever a modified creature you control leaves the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on this artifact. So with the blink things, you can always recharge it. We've got our 2 boots that are here for protection. They're made for walking. We have Trailblazers boots to make our thing unblockable if they have non-basic lands. Whisper Silk Cloak for a little bit more unblockable. And then we have Sword of Truth and Justice, which is +2/+2, protection from white and blue, and whenever the creature deals combat damage, you put a 1/1 counter on a creature you control, and then you proliferate. Enchantments. We've got ourselves Airbender Ascension. I really love this card. I love it a lot. But When it enters, you airbend up to one target creature. Doesn't have to be yours. Whenever a creature you control enters, put a quest counter on this enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, if it has 4 or more quest counters on it, you exile a creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. We have Aqueous Form, make something unblockable. Cathar's Crusade, so whenever a creature enters the battlefield, you get a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Curiosity, so whenever enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. Curious Inquiry, which is whenever the enchanted creature has +1/+1, and whenever it deals combat damage, you get to investigate, which is make a clue, which draws you cards. Felidar Retreat, landfall, so whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, choose one, make a cat, or put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control, and they gain vigilance until end of turn. We have Imposter Syndrome, so whenever a non-token creature you control deals combat damage to a player, create a token that's a copy of it, except it isn't legendary. Doing this on Peni seems pretty fun. Inexorable Tide, so whenever you cast a spell, you proliferate. Staggering Insight, so the enchanted creature gets +1/+1, has lifelink, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Steel of the Godhead, this card is a classic. I love all of these. They're kind of like a boon auras is kind of what I used to call them back in the day, where they were like each of the like bestowed from like different symbols in Shadowmoor and such. But as long as the enchanted creature is white, gets +1/+1 lifelink, and as long as it is blue, it's +1/+1 and unblockable. And we have Valkyrie's Call, which is whenever a non-token, non-angel creature you control dies, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a 1/1 counter on it. It is flying, and it's an angel in addition to its other types. Lands, we have Abandoned Air Temple. I highly recommend this card to everyone. This card is really, really good, especially for counters decks. This land enters tapped unless you control a basic land. You can tap 4 to put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Then we have Nesting Grounds. You can move a counter. We have Karn's Bastion to proliferate. Rogue's Passage, because I wouldn't be Weston if I wasn't putting a Rogue's Passage in a deck. And then we have Tyrant Sanctum, which is target legendary creature becomes a god in addition to its other types, and you put a 1/1 counter on it. And you can sacrifice it, put an undestructible counter on target god. We are running a bunch of basics in this deck as well. And there you have it. Well, I hope this one turned out pretty well. I think it's pretty fun. Definitely like a lower bracket deck, and you can definitely tune this up or down depending on however you choose. You can also move the budget up or down depending on how you choose. But as always, I am Weston with the Hidden Gibbon, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.